Blue Sky 4, this is U.S. Navy Warship 115. Request you return to original port of call in Iran. How copy? Over.
Copy, sir. Thank you very much. Copy, sir. Me alter to Iran. Thank you.
Blue Sky 4, this is U.S. Warship 115. I understand you will return to your previous port of call in Iran. This is U.S. Warship 115, standing by on channel 16. Out.
You hear it there, probably a good idea for that Iranian ship to turn around. President Trump says the Strait of Hormuz is now open, but the blockade, the U.S. blockade of Iranian ports, will stay in place until Iran officially agrees to a deal. In the meantime, General Dan Kane says U.S. forces are extending well into the Pacific to target so-called shadow fleets linked to Iran. For more on that, we are joined by Fox Business's Darren Botello. He is live on Capitol Hill. Hi, Darren.
Hey, good afternoon, Bill. Now that the Strait of Hormuz is opened back up, the U.S. Navy, they're going after that shadow fleet you were talking about. They're ships that are trying to avoid detection, turning off GPS, putting up different flags, like you saw in that famous scene in Lord of War with Nicolas Cage. And I spoke with I spoke with the Congressman French Hill about that this morning, as well as what's going on over in the Middle East.
The Americans and our allies around the world can certainly monitor that. And make a determination on if somebody is trying to ship illegal oil. You've seen Treasury Secretary Bassett sanction those fleets, and so they can be identified by our intelligence sources, and they can be interdicted with our allies. It's just a big challenge because the ocean's a big place, and there are many, many, many of these ships.
Bill, it's a big ocean and a lot of oil being shipped out. Just with China alone, Iran sent them about 1.7 million barrels per day in the last year. And getting back to that shadow fleet we're talking about, here's a breakdown of the number of ships these countries are using to try and avoid detection. Russia has more than 200, Iran with 90. The Treasury is hitting back with Operation Economic Fury, and maritime experts say with satellite technology, there is nowhere to hide.
It is absolutely doable in terms of tracking, locating, and understanding what they're doing, and making it very actionable for the United States Navy. So you could ask the U.S. Navy to go to Malaysia and apprehend these vessels with Iranian oil doing ship-to-ship transfers. The mouse running away, now the cat just became a bit bigger and a bit more hungry, and now the cat has high-resolution satellites. So the mouse can't go away anymore.
And keep in mind, there are a lot of vessels out there on the ocean. This is not an overnight thing. It takes about a month or so for these tankers to get from Iran over to China. Bill?
All right, Darren Botello live on Capitol Hill this afternoon. Darren, thanks.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now.
Sepa Navy. This is Motor Engelston Marhedal. You gave me clearance to go. My name second on your list. You gave me clearance to go. You are fighting now. Let me turn back. Sepa Navy. This is Motor Engelston Marhedal. You gave me clearance to go. My name second on your list. You gave me clearance to go. You are fighting now. Let me turn back. Sepa Navy.
Trump is telling us that the Strait of Hormuz is open. He's telling us that it's a total victory. And the IRGC, the new Ayatollah, and the foreign minister are making all types of concessions to American demands. But from where we're sitting, it looks like the smoke is rising from commercial tankers that are under attack by the IRGC, and that's given us sending a different message. The IRGC is firing, and they aren't just hitting steel. They're hitting the narrative, Trump's narrative. We're seeing a massive clash in messaging. While Washington is claiming control, the IRGC is acting like a cornered animal. And anyone who knows about a cornered animal knows that that's when they're the most dangerous. But here's the real question. Are they acting on orders from the superiors within the IRGC? including but not limited to the new Ayatollah? Or have these soldiers gone rogue? Whispers are growing that the IRGC has split from the new Ayatollah. If the military wing is no longer taking cues from the religious leadership, Iran is no longer just a threat to us. It's a threat to itself. We're watching internal division that could turn a regional standoff into a total domestic collapse. As the Bible says, a house divided cannot stand. And right now, Tehran is looking like a house built on quicksand. It's sinking fast. Now, you know I love my boy Trump. You know that's my guy. But he is not above criticism. I consider myself a straight shooter. I'll give you that real talk, and I'll give you my real opinions. The first things that hit my brain when situations develop. Something people say I never do. But we got to be honest, man. It's fair to criticize Trump right now. It's fair to criticize the moves he's been making over the past couple of days. He's taken a high-stakes gamble that could drag us into another long war. And it spikes the cost of living for every working family. But on the flip side, you have to respect his determination. For the first time in a generation, the IRGC is experiencing the find out part of FAFO. It's peace through strength. That's the message that we're sending. Even if that peace right now seems kind of like a powder keg. We know all the doomers are out here, you know, oh, see, he said it was open, blah, 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 blah. You know what they do, right? They're looking for a reason to go after Trump. They're looking for a reason to try to put America down. And we know they do this because they have this like hatred towards Israel. And that's whatever. That's not my business. Your reasoning as a doomer is definitely flawed because you're looking at the smoke, but you're not looking at the scoreboard. If anybody tells you that, oh my God, this is going to hurt the United States economy, this is what I hear the women saying, and this is what I hear the men that are raised by them with no fathers in the home saying. It's going to collapse the economy. Trump didn't have a plan. When I woke up this morning, the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones have just achieved record earnings. Literally, they are at all-time highs in their history. Look at China. We aren't just in control. We've got Beijing in a corner. They literally have to sit back as spectators and watch as the United States dictates the flow of global energy. The U.S. isn't just a player on the board at this point. We are the board. But there's a bitter irony here. We gotta be honest. I see segments of my own ethnic group. I see segments of Black America cheering on IRGC terrorists for attacking civilian ships. Did you hear the urgency in that Indian pilot or sailor when he was telling the IRGC, you literally gave me clearance to leave your port, and now you're firing at me. See, but Black America right now is cheering that on. That's cool to them. That's a sign of strength to them. But to any normal, logical thinking group of people, that's a sign of incredible weakness. The same people who rightfully beg for reparations and humanity at home, free George Floyd, Black Lives Matter, they are literally clapping for a regime that would never give them either one of those things. You can't sit up and demand justice at home and in your own neighborhood, but then celebrate chaos, violence, and carnage on the world stage. America isn't perfect, but it's ours. It belongs to us. We don't have to bow down to anyone unless we want to. We don't break, and we sure as hell don't blink. This is the greatest nation on earth, and you need to act like you know that. Just keeping it real. Guys, who's really controlling the Strait of Hormuz right now? Who's really controlling the Strait? You got all these conflicting messages. Trump screaming, total control, victory. You know, we broke them. They're agreeing to everything. And then you have this contingent within Iran that's like firing on ships after they told them they could leave. And that part right there tells me that there has been a split within the IRGC. And what we have now is rogue rebel groups within the country that are literally opposing the orders of the upper brass, and they're just on a kill mission. They're literally looking at, like, they're trying to destroy everything. How do I know this? They're literally firing at the ship, the Indian tanker, with like bullets. You can hear them in the background tinking off, tink, 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 tink off, right? They're not using missiles or ballistic missiles. They're firing at them with bullets. That tells me, if you have intelligence, it kind of tells you two things. One, they're probably running out of missiles. And that's probably why they're agreeing to everything, at least on its face, that Trump proposes, right? But it also points to something that I believe, that I don't even think Trump believes, or either he understands it, but he's not going to communicate it. I don't think the IRGC will remain. There, at this point, the IRGC is done already. And I think a lot of people within Iran understand that. Because if you look at the situation, it's like there's no one in charge. There's no one in control. The thing that kills me is Iran is not firing on United States ships. That's why I still hold to this idea that the United States has these dudes beat. Why are you firing on oil tankers? What does that accomplish? You blow up the oil tanker and then you enrage the rest of the world, right? You enrage the rest of the world because they're like, yo, now you're attacking innocent civilians. Also, you're shooting at an oil tanker that is from India, someone who was actually taking your side in this situation, and continue to buy oil from you after the United States told them not to, right? But they hold that type of leverage. So what I want you to understand, and I don't know if I have to pull up a map for this. Maybe a map is fitting. When you hear the doomers and they're like, the Strait is still closed. Guys, the Strait is not closed. Iran is saying the Strait is closed. But if you look at actions over just empty words, you'll quickly realize that the Strait is not closed at all. What's going on is Trump has like totally punked Iran, right? I don't think there's anyone alive right now who would argue that, right? But if we go to this map, I did do one semester of geography in college, so that makes me an expert. Okay, so if you go right here, right? This is the Strait of Hormuz. Dubai sits super close to it, but this is the Strait. So what's going on with America? What America has done is they've basically opened the Strait of Hormuz, but where they're clear minds here. Well, let me go back. What Iran did was they dropped mines. If you see this little like horn tip, guys, let me know if you could see my mouse. Oh, well, I could tell you if you could. I could look myself. Okay, so if you go to this little horn tip right here, Iran has placed bombs or like mines all along this part of the Strait of Hormuz, right? They've placed mines all along this part, right? And what that does is that forces the ships to sail very close to Iran, very close to Karg Island, very close to the border of Iran. And this is really evil because you can see that the UAE is here, right? You can see that Oman is here. You can see Dubai is here. And one might say, well, you guys have all the right in the world to mine your part of the strait. But how the hell are you going to put mines in the UAE's part of the strait? Well, they didn't even put mines in their part. They literally put mines in the UAE part to force ships to create like a bottleneck so that ships have to sail close to their shores, right? Here's the thing. As the United States clears these mines, which they're doing right now, if there were any mines, because I haven't heard of anything getting blown up by mines. Have you? As the United States clears the mines from this side of the Strait of Hormuz, ships can just sail along the coast of the UAE, and they're under no threat from Iran. The only way Iran can hit them is if they shoot like missiles, right? Which I seriously think they're out of. And they're scared to shoot missiles because the minute they shoot a missile, the United States will be able to detect where the missile came from. And then they'll just go blow up that missile launch site. And within a couple of launches, they'll be done. They'll be totally unable to inflict damage on vessels going through the strait, right? So what they're doing, what the United States have done is they've told Iran, you can't ship anything. So nothing can come from this side of the strait. But we are allowing all ships to come through on this UAE side of the strait. So when Iran is shooting at the Indian vessel, what did the Indian vessel say? It said, you just cleared me to leave. Now you're shooting at me. So these guys are so idiotic. And this is what makes me understand that there's a split within the ranks. These guys are so dumb. They're literally shooting at ships that are trying to leave Iran from countries that have just bought Iranian oil. That's how desperate and dumb they are. So do I believe that this is the actual Iranian government orchestrating this? No way. Because what country that's in the position of Iran right now would shoot at anyone who is literally buying oil from them when they're at risk of being totally cashless in a couple of weeks? The IRGC has split. That ruling faction of Iran, it has split. And now you have a subgroup of terrorists that are literally trying to inflict damage on anyone they can to hurt either the U.S. or the group that is the part of the IRGC that is still negotiating and making all these concessions to the United States. Just listen to what the Indian tanker operator said. He said, you just cleared me to leave and now you're shooting at me.
Sepa Navy. This is Motor Engerson Marhedal. You gave me clearance to go. My name second on your list. You gave me clearance to go. You are fighting now. Second on your list. You gave me clearance to go. Second on your list. You gave me clearance to go. You are fighting now. Let me turn back.
See, so whoever gave him clearance to go is not the people who are shooting at him. That's another entity within Iran that's firing on bro. So in my opinion, from what I see, it looks like Trump is this is only strengthening Trump's position, because now the this little sub faction or whatever, they're really showing people the monsters that the IRGC really are. Do you think India is going to keep sending tankers to Iran if they know that there's a chance that those tankers will be sabotaged by malcontents within the country? No, they won't. They'll go somewhere else to buy oil. And this only strengthens the United States of America's position as the number one seller of oil on earth. I mean, if you really think about it, it's actually crazy. Iran is, in my opinion, they're beat at every angle. They are absolutely cooked at every. They have nowhere to go. At this point, they might as well just hold on real quick. So, yeah. So they're cooked. At this point, I don't think even the Iranian people, they won't support the IRGC going forward because there's no collapse. You're saying India will absolutely do what? You got to let me know. You got to let me know. You got to let me know. But the IRGC cannot hit any tankers that are coming on the UAE side of the Strait unless they shoot a missile, and they're afraid to do that. So they're literally shooting at the tankers with bullets. Bullets can only go so far. And I think this stretch is like 7 miles wide or something, 8 miles wide. Ain't no bullet traveling 8 miles. Yeah, here's the thing. Someone said in the comments, India will still purchase from Iran. Bro, no one's going to purchase oil from a country where they can't go extract. What person on earth is going to send $1 billion oil tanker into a country where there's a chance that there's going to be sabotage? That doesn't make any sense. No one's going to do that, bro. They're not going to do that. And what sailors are going to take that risk and say, hey, I would have volunteered to go over there and get shot? That guy sounded terrified. He's not a soldier. He's a civilian. But let's check out what Trump said yesterday at the Turning Point event. It was really funny and it was interesting.
Day for the world, because Iran has just announced that the Strait of Hormuz is fully open and ready for business and full passage.
Now, listen to what he said. Iran announced that the Strait of Hormuz is fully open and ready for business. See, Iran announced that. Now there's messages coming out of Iran saying, oh, the strait is closed again. Those messages aren't coming from the people negotiating with the United States. Those messages are coming from the faction within claiming to be the legitimate wing of the IRGC, and they're discrediting the other wing. But the reality is, if they've elected a new Ayatollah, which side is he on? That's what we need to figure out. That's what we need to figure out. So do you think? So is this a loss for Trump? No. All the tankers are going to continue to go through. The only tankers that are going to be stopped are the ones coming from Iranian ports. So they're just hurting themselves.
But the naval blockade, with the greatest navy in the world, from the greatest military the world has ever seen, we built it. During my first term, we built it. They said I was crazy. We weren't so crazy, were we? Will remain in full force and effect as it pertains to Iran until such time as our transaction with Iran is 100% complete and fully signed. And this process, we're getting along well, but who knows with anyone, but who knows with Iran in particular. This process should go very quickly, and that most of the points are already negotiated and agreed to. You'll be very happy. The USA will get all nuclear dust. You know what the nuclear dust is? That was that white powdery substance created by our B-2 bombers, those great B-2 bombers, late one evening, 7 months ago. No money will exchange hands in any way, shape, or form.
Right. And so the Doomers, they were lying yesterday. I noticed that I didn't go live, but they were lying. Oh, Trump's giving Iran $20 billion. Trump's giving Iran $20 billion. And somebody in the comments was saying, if Trump's lips are moving, they're lying. Everything Trump has said has come true. Everything the Doomers have said has turned out to be a lie. I don't know if every accusation is just a confession, but when are the Doomers? I mean, I just want to talk to these people. I give them the link in my comments. I say, just tell me what's going on. Because people look at me and they think, oh, you're just believing it, whatever Trump says. I literally have a cousin who's in the Persian Gulf right now. I have a cousin who's literally on an amphibious assault ship right now. And another cousin who's a naval cryptologist, literally. And I talk to them. And then I match that to see if that matches what Trump's actually saying. So who's really getting their information from the mainstream media? Not me. I'm just confirming what they said with what this guy said. I'm matching it. I criticized Trump earlier on some things I think he could do better. But overwhelmingly, what he says is true. And let me tell you this, follow the money. Follow the money. That's all you got to do. The Dow and the S&P 500 literally had it reached record levels yesterday. It closed after breaking records. Trust me, the people with the money invested, they know what's going on. Money, men lie, women lie. Money don't lie. Money don't lie. So you don't have to listen to me. You don't have to listen to the Doomers. You can just follow the money. That's the number one most effective way to know what the hell's going on. Follow that bread.
Iran will be, and you know how we're going to get to this?
Roger Scales, come on up.
We were going to take it anyway, but taking it that way is slightly more dangerous. But we're going to get it anyway. But Iran, with the help of the USA, has removed or is removing all of the sea mines, and most importantly, it never agreed, and you'll understand, they will never have a nuclear weapon. They will never have a...
See, and Buddy Yeti need to share the wealth for the super chat. But that's what I'm saying, y'all. We're not just getting proof from Trump. We're getting proof from our people we know who are invested. We're getting proof from the people we know who are in the military. Like, I don't know why people, like, maybe it's just me, the way I think, like my mind, the way it works. What power or satisfaction do you get off of just lying to yourself? Because we're not going to believe you. We know better. We're adults. We've been on the planet for a long time. Like, what satisfaction do you get just being in denial all the time? Why are you mad that your country is doing well? Why are you mad that we've been able to achieve massive success with very few casualties? I don't understand why people get mad about that. But whether you like it or not, these are the facts. Now, if you want to come up here and give me some alternative facts, click the link and do that. But you guys know these Doomers, they never come up. They never come up. This is the one show on the internet that allows you to come up and prove the host wrong or defend your position. Bro's like, I'm at brunch right now. I can't come up. I can't come up. These people were spreading this lie saying, oh, the Marines, they don't support Trump. They don't like being out there. The real deal is they love being out there. From what I'm hearing, they love being out there. And that was confirmed by Morning Joe, someone who really cannot stand Trump at all in any way. It ain't about being honest is not really about supporting Trump. It's about just standing on truth and business. Trump got enough support. He's at TPUSA. Do you hear that crowd going crazy?
And somebody said, how are we going to get the nuclear test? We're going to get it by going in with Iran with lots of excavators, because the B-2s, remember when fake news CNN said, well, maybe obliteration is too strong a word. Obliteration. That's so deep. We need the biggest excavators you can imagine, but we're going to go in together with Iran. We're going to get it, and we're going to take it back home to the USA. And now that the Hormuz Strait situation is almost over, I received a call from NATO asking if we would like some help. Thank you very much, NATO. And I told them I would have liked your help 2 months ago, but now I really don't want your help anymore. Because they were absolutely useless when we needed them.
And there's more proof, if you ask me, that Trump is succeeding. Because now NATO, they're literally trying to come to, oh, do you need help doing this and doing that? And Trump's like, we don't need your help anymore. When we needed your help, you didn't want to come help us. So stop trying to come Johnny come lately. And this bastard Keir Starmer, he's actually trying to declare victory. This guy's literally trying to act like he had something to do with the success in NATO, in the Strait, in Iran. Everyone wants to take credit for what Trump and MAGA accomplished, or America, what America accomplished, right? While they were doubting the whole time, preying on the failure of America. And it's not working. And it's so crazy because even a guy who hates Trump, Joe Scarborough, over on Morning Joe, he yesterday was pressing the hell out of Chuck Schumer. He was pressing the hell out of Chuck Schumer over whether or not, you know, we can be happy about the success in Iran while still being critical of Trump. And of course, Chuck Schumer, he's doing his fake anti-Israel thing. Whole time he's Jewish and receives more AIPAC money than anyone.
Where they're going,
But
I don't think
trick.
it's worse. You, Joe, first.
Is it good? Military side. Is it? I think I threw it away. You have the military side, you have the political side. I'm simply.
It's going to happen in the next several months.
Good.
Yeah.
Is it a
Here
good
goes.
thing that. No, hold on a second.
Okay.
All right, so
That's deep, and Iran sees that they have real leverage here.
Right.
That it's harder and harder.
All right, so Senator,
so here's how we ought to get out.
No, hold on a second.
Okay.
You got to answer my question first.
Yeah.
Is it a good thing that Iran, and I think you would agree with me, epicenter of terrorism in the world since 1979, is it good that their military infrastructure is being degraded to the degree that it is? Yes or no?
It's you can't, because it's a premature question. What is going to happen in the next several months?
No, I can ask that question.
Well, you can't separate.
No. I can't. So you have a military side of it. I can show you my chart, but I think I threw it away. You have the military side, you have the political side. I'm simply asking on the military side, is it good, regardless of whether we agree with going in or not, is it good that Iran's military infrastructure has been seriously
And again,
degraded?
I have to tell you, Joe, first, you can't, what's going to happen 3 months from now? Is it worth it? What's going to happen? Will the world economy collapse? Will something happen even?
This guy, Chuck Schumer, is so disingenuous. He can't give Trump credit for anything. Oh, what's going to happen in 3 months? Is the world economy going to collapse? Why would the world economy collapse? Someone in the comments was like, oh man, well, India has to buy oil from Iran. Bro, India could buy oil from Saudi Arabia. They could buy oil from UAE. They could buy oil from America. They could buy oil from Venezuela. They could buy oil from Russia. I don't know why people act like Iran is the only player in the game. There's plenty of oil producing nations. That's the meaning of the term of the that's the meaning of OPEC, right? OPEC. Understand that. There's plenty of countries on the planet producing oil that India could buy oil from. Now, Iran might be giving India a super good deal, but I'm pretty sure there are countries that would love to match that deal. America, David Campbell, straight up, America has big oil for sale. But Chuck Schumer, he has to constantly, I keep telling people, when you're listening to the Democrats, they are manipulating you, and they're using something called fear-based programming to manipulate you. What'll happen in 3 months? Will the whole economy collapse? That's fear-based programming. I'm going to make you scared so that you agree with me on everything, or you unknowingly become a messenger for my cause and for my narrative. What if? I bet you this guy's invested in the S&P 500. I bet you this guy watched his bank account grow exponentially this yesterday. But it doesn't matter, because he needs to say whatever will make Trump look bad. And I respect Joe Scarborough. I don't have a lot of respect for him, but he's standing on business right here. He's like, two things can be true. Is it at least good that Trump obliterated their militaristic capabilities? And this guy, he's going to eventually say yes, but he has to throw all this fluff in front of it.
Worse, will the whole energy infrastructure of the world go up in smoke? So you have to,
Bye, Dan Price.
without planning, when they do it without understanding where they're going,
Senator,
where they're going,
But
I don't
it's a
think
trick
it's
question.
fair.
It's a trick question.
No, it's not.
Because
Yes, it
if you
is.
do not, if
No,
you
it's
do not
not.
strategize the consequences
I
of
agree with
the
you.
action, the military action, if you obliterate and do all these things, but you don't actually play it out in your minds and have strategy for the
Mind you, I think her name's Kim. I don't know her name. I think it's Kim. Mind you, this woman was one of the people, and Joe too. They're telling Trump in the United States military about strategy, planning things out. These were two of the people who were talking about Biden is in the best shape of his life. These are two of the people who sat in front of Joe Biden, saw him in cognitive decline, and literally lied to the faces of Americans via the TV screen and told them, no, Joe Biden's as good as he's ever been. Set your DVR right now, because I'm telling the truth. Remember Scarborough? They're telling the United States military, the greatest military force in the history of the world, oh, they didn't, what if they didn't plan? Guys, these guys are like Batman. They have contingency upon contingency upon contingency. Oh, Mika. Sorry, Mika. Thank you, Miss Berry. I don't watch. I only watch the clips when Joe's talking crazy. Mika. But aren't they married? I know they don't have sex. Anyway, like, they're telling the military, it's their job to plan. This is what they do. But you think that you, as a news anchor, somehow is going to out-strategize them, or you're going to catch something that they didn't anticipate. This is what I'm saying. All this shit is rooted in ego and an overinflated sense of self-importance. That's all it's about. Oh, but if you didn't plan. And she tries her best to take Chuck Schumer's side. But Joe's like, shut up, bitch. I ain't having it. Like, he's on it. Because in this particular case, Joe is right. He's right on point.
consequences, then it may not be good.
Let me answer the question for everybody in America. The answer, yes. It's good that the terrorist regime, their military has been, and capabilities have been degraded radically. The question, Mike, though, is political. It's the political question. What is the political impact? What's the impact in the Straits? What's the impact in the region?
Joe, in all due respect, if you ask the American people, if you have the choice of degrading the military structure in Iran, but having gasoline be $6 a gallon, and our economy falling into a deep recession where millions lose their job, what do you think Americans
Senator, you're not
would say?
listening to me. That's the political side of it.
No, it's not political.
Okay.
It's a consequence.
That is the political side of it. He's not even trying to he understands what Joe is saying perfectly, but he's constantly trying to spin. And what did he say? Oh, you have to ask the American people, is Iran being decapitated militaristically, is that worth the economy collapsing and us going into a recession? And da-da-da. But guys, think about this. These are the same people who are okay with keeping the government closed for months over giving illegal immigrants health care. They have the government partially closed right now because they don't want to fund the Department of Homeland Security. All the Democrats do is inflict pain upon the American people, but then tell you, oh, don't worry about the pain we're inflicting because those other guys over there, they're going to do worse. Like I told you, it is fear-based programming. The first thing Chuck Schumer does when he opens his mouth is throw out this scary hypothetical. Oh, is it worth a recession? What is a recession? You have to have like three quarters of negative growth or something like that. The textbook definition. How the hell are we anywhere near a recession when Trump's only been in Iran for like a little over a month? A bunch of what about, oh, what ifs, what ifs. He's throwing that at you while he watches his bank account increase exponentially. While he watches his stock earnings grow. Because the fear is only for the suckers. And if you say, no, Chuck, you're not going to manipulate me by making me scared. Oh, then they got to go to the other weapon. Oh, you're a racist, you're a bigot, you're this, you're that. These are their two most powerful weapons. Fear, and if you dare to be brave, you're a racist and a bigot.
Just like Mika said.
All right, why don't we talk about the Yankees, because you're not following me, with all due respect.
I just don't agree with you.
No, what you don't understand me. There's a big difference. I would say that most Americans would say it's a good thing that it's degraded. Would they agree that we should have gone to war, Mike? I think most Americans, you look at the polls, they don't want this war.
Okay.
They don't want this war, but there is, it's something that I think the Democrats should be, I think it's something, with all due respect, Democrats should be clear about. Iran has tried to kill Americans since 1979.
Okay.
Two things, hold on. Two things can be true at once. It can be good.
Hey, Joe is cooking this dude, but let me point out some hypocrisy. Americans don't want the gas prices to be raised so that we can eliminate a threat to all Americans and really to the world, right? And simultaneously eliminate the threat of China, right? They don't want the price of gas to go up for that. But they were cool with gas being over $5. They were cool with oil being $120 a barrel for like 2.5 years under Obama because we're going to save the environment. Think about that. Americans will pay extra money at the pump to save the planet, which is, we're trying to do that to save American lives, but they won't pay they won't pay more at the pump to address a more imminent threat because Iran's going to send a nuke over here a lot sooner than climate change is going to destroy the planet. It's like, it's the most hypocritical position on earth. And everything these dudes do is rooted in hypocrisy. Climate change, when they were raising the price of our gas for years in the name of climate change, which used to be called global warming. But then when the scientists proved that the planet was not warming, it had periods of cooling and warming, they changed that term to climate change. I don't know if you guys caught that one. They got you. They got over on you with a fast one. Do you guys remember when we were younger, it was global warming? Then when the scientific evidence came out and said, well, yeah, the planet has cooling periods and warming periods, that's a natural process. They said, okay, let's change the name to climate change now. So if it gets warmer, that's covered under climate change. If it gets colder, that is also covered under climate change. They just duped you. But Chuck Schumer he's ridiculous. And he's a big receiver of AIPAC money.
That Iran's killing machine has been degraded. At the same time, the consequences may outweigh the good that come from that.
Okay,
it's okay
look,
to say that.
I don't disagree with you.
I don't disagree.
You know, the fact that the leader Khamenei is gone, no one regrets that. The fact that Iran has less ability to create military trouble is no one disputes that.
No, listen. The legacy politicians hate it when Trump gets rid of a boogeyman. I don't know if you guys remember. Do you guys remember Saddam Hussein was the boogeyman. Then it was Osama bin Laden. Then it was Kim Jong-un in North Korea. Then it was Vladimir Putin. Then it was Khomeini. They hate when you get rid of a boogeyman because they literally campaign on taking your money to protect you from the boogeyman. Do you know how angry these politicians got when Trump went to North Korea? Do you remember Obama refused to go talk to the guys in North Korea? Do you remember George Bush refused to go talk to the guy over in North Korea, his daddy? Why? Because they don't want to humanize these people. Because once you realize, hey, we're way stronger than them, they can't do shit to us. They can't use it to scare you into voting for them anymore. They can't use it to scare you into allowing them to institute draconian taxes on you anymore. That's what it's all about. We got to scare them. Fear is like one of the most powerful motivators on earth. And understand, Chuck Schumer has been in the Senate all that time. He's very much a part of that fear-mongering class. That's why he doesn't want to admit that Iran has been degraded militaristically. Because he's like, nah, we could run on that in 2 more years. Same reason they didn't want to, the Democrats refused to codify Roe v. Wade when they had the supermajority under Obama, but then scream and hoop and holler when Trump sends it back to the states, because Trump took away a political football, something that they can manipulate you with during the next election. Don't let them manipulate you, guys.
But you have to look, I don't think it's political, to be very honest with you. It's the consequences, the military, the geopolitical, the economic consequences.
I'm saying geopolitical.
You got to let me finish.
You just said what I was saying. The geopolitical consequences.
Right. It's not just
the
economic consequences.
He literally said what Joe Scarborough was saying.
Again, if you ask the American people, and you had the package together, because we don't know how bad it's going to get, but we know it's pretty bad now. I think most of them would have said, no, we shouldn't have gone to war. And by the way,
most of them have said that.
Oh, we still don't know how bad it's going to get. Man, what the hell are you talking about? Iran is jacked up. They're shooting at the tankers of the people buying oil from them. How much worse can it get? They've been totally degraded. And I'm not saying we should underestimate our enemy. I'm just trying to point out the fact that this guy, he's going to keep circling back around to trying to scare you. And if you're not scared, then he's going to call you a racist and a bigot and all this stuff.
Yeah, we shouldn't have gone to war.
Right.
And I'll tell you this, if they would have done it right, if they would have
done it right,
voted, if the Republicans would have voted with us on the War Powers Act, all these questions would have been asked ahead of time.
Right.
Instead of Donald Trump's willy-nilly, one day yes, one day no.
Bull crap. If the Republicans would have voted with Schumer and his boys on the War Powers Act, America would have got bogged down in Iran for 3-4 months until Trump's time limit to engage in conflicts as president without Congress's approval ran out. That's what they would have done. They would have literally handicapped our military the way they did in Afghanistan, the way they did in Iraq. They would have literally handicapped our military so that there was more death of our troops, so that they could weaponize that against the Republicans in the midterms. These people are sick. I try to tell you guys, these people are sick. And I'm not just talking about Democrats, Republicans too. Rand Paul, he's an embarrassment to his father's legacy. I'm telling you, these people are sick. They don't care about troops dying. They want the death because the death allows them, they can weaponize the death against their political opponents. That's all they would have done if the Republican Party would have gave them the power to hamstring the president financially. And he knows it. He knows it. He would have sat and talked big shit about Israel and United States while he's steadily receiving money from the Israeli lobby. Chuck Schumer is a piece of work.
This is our reason. That is our reason. So I don't think the question can be taken in just one slice.
Right.
Yeah, the question can be taken in one slice. We are better off now than we were 2 months ago. We're better off now with Iran not having minimal capability than we are with them having maximum capability. Point blank, period. Chuck Schumer's full of crap. I can't stand him. He's really one of the politicians I dislike the most. Phone call there. Guys, let me get to these super chats. Thank you to everybody who contributed to the stream. I appreciate y'all. My son is he's with a Marine unit off Iran. Okay. I don't know what the EXP means. I don't know what that means. But your son is with a Marine unit off Iran. Okay. So Jason Beatrice, his son is a Marine, and he's over there in the Persian Gulf right now. Hey, thank him for his service for me when you get a chance to talk to him, okay? We 100% must support our troops. I don't care how you feel about the president. We 100% must support our troops. Straight up. That is not a negotiable. There's no debate on that. They didn't choose to go there. They're following orders, and they're working hard to keep us safe. That's why what the stuff that people like Chuck Schumer do, it pisses me off. Just that those are lives lost. Sign the War Powers Act so we can make all these hurdles for Trump to have to jump over to do what he has to do. It's putting people's lives in danger. Shout out to my brother Buddy Yeti for the $5 holler. I also teach classes for anybody who wants to learn how to trade. Hey man, I used to do a lot of trading and options, but I'm down to take some classes. My portfolio is looking kind of sweet. I ain't gonna lie. Shout out to Miss Berry. She always used to send me stock. I'm like, okay, I'm diversified. She kept me in the game. Shout out to Sucker Season LA for the $5 holler. Salute, bro. Thank you so much, my brother. Oh, Marine Expedition Unit. Okay, now I know. EXP means Marine Expedition Unit. You know me, I just speak civilian. But thank him for his service, and thank you for being the parent of a service member. Sucker Season LA is in the building. We got a mission we about to go on right now, so this show ain't gonna be too much longer. Beyond that, later on, guys, do me a favor. We're gonna end this one. Be on the lookout. I got a cool video about Roland Martin coming out this afternoon, so be on the lookout. And do you guys think I should cover this Tariq Nasheed going after Anton Daniels thing? If I get back in time, we'll have a little fun tonight. Yeah, they don't allow you to give stocks no more. Yeah, I already know. I know, Miss Berry. If I have time, if I get back early enough, no, don't cover it, Zarth. Don't cover it. Talk to me, Zarth. This is my brother right here. I trust him with my life. What's up? Okay, hit me on Discord. Zarth, what? Don't cover it? Don't do it, Zarth? Don't talk about it? Leave them where they at? So should I cover it or not? LTZ. Listen, we had a 100% political stream today, and it was beautiful. We peaked at 105 viewers. So all you guys, don't talk about the political stuff. Just talk about the crazy stuff. You're wrong. I like our political audience. Our political audience is diverse, and it's highly intelligent. Not saying that my other audience is not intelligent, but we're on the cutting edge of what's happening here. We're not bogged down in just purely black social issues. Yeah. We gotta stay locked in. So Zarth, I'm gonna leave it up to Zarth. Zarth, should I cover it? Yes or no? Give me a straight up answer. Yes or no, Zarth. Cover it, have some fun tonight, or leave it where it's at. Yeah, we're trying. Listen, MAGA is trying. We're trying to be well-informed voters. Because, listen, I'm telling you, I tell everybody, nothing can be sustained by emotion. Nothing. You think these movements won't burn out? Where's Black Lives Matter, guys? Where's defund the police? Where's the Tea Party? These movements will not last, but they can do lasting damage before they fizzle out. So it's important for you to be informed as you can be. Yeah, Roland is a moron. Roland has more knowledge and wisdom in his baby finger than this podcast nutcast has in his entire body. Yeah, the thing with Roland is, if Roland actually was honest, because he says on this channel, we try to teach people how to be well-informed voters. If you're just telling people to vote Democrat or they're stupid, Roland, that's not teaching them how to be well-informed voters. That's shaming them if they don't vote the way you want them to. That's shaming them. You don't hear Roland purposely omits anything that is critical of Democrats. He hasn't even made a video about the predatory gubernatorial candidate, Eric Swalwell. Go look on his channel. Right? Eric Swalwell is a dude who is about to probably most likely go to jail. He's about to resign from Congress. California Congress. He's a big time Democrat. Was the front runner to win the election. Roland Martin hasn't made a peep about him. Roland Martin hasn't said anything about him. At that point, you're not being you're not fairly criticizing, or you're not analyzing the information. You're not reporting the news evenly. That's a big story. Yeah, the guy, they didn't force him out. Those women freaking sending videos of him doing shit to him is what forced him out. You guys don't know. Bro about to have a straight up Diddy trial. These girls have D-pics, video of him doing stuff. You guys haven't seen the video with him in the motel room in Vegas with the other senator out of Arizona? You guys haven't seen that? It's damning. And me, I'm a person who I always tell people pause when it comes to these essay allegations, because a lot of people say a lot of things, and you got to kind of make sure it's something that's based on truth. But he's done. He's done. LTZ, 100%. He's cooked. Absolutely cooked. Yeah, his criminal. It's so bad with Eric. Eric literally is resigning from California legislature so he does not have to go before the ethics committee, the Congressional Ethics Committee, because he knows the people on that committee know him personally, and they know what they know what the rumors are, and he knows what they'll do to him. So he resigns, so he's no longer under their jurisdiction. He would rather face a jury than to face the Congressional Ethics Committee. You know he's cooked. His polling dropped. That's not being forced out. That's not being forced out. He dropped out because he was done. Which I guess if you say that's being forced out, you can have it. I'm not arguing over that. But right, it literally looked like spring break, right? These fools sitting up in the California legislature trying to have up in a motel with teeny boppers and shit. It's bad. It's a bad look. But guys, California has a lot of predatory politicians. Even when they interviewed his friend, his buddy, Kukler or whatever his name is, that guy was like, if you want to be a good journalist, investigate all of them. They know what's going on in California. I live in California. And I'm going to tell you, here, the politicians are predatory. Why do you think they defend predators? Why do you think they're constantly passing laws? Or like there was a law that was meant to increase the penalty on people who purchase minors for X, right? For bad things. So they passed the law. The Republican legislator drew up this bill. The Democrats blocked the bill. They blocked a bill that would increase the penalty for people who buy minors for the purpose of explicit activity. And the Democrats blocked that bill. We got a guy named Scott Wiener over here. I don't know what this guy's problem is, but it seems like all he wants to do is protect pedophiles and stuff. No, it's not the one that lowers age of consent. It's the one that literally increases the penalty on people who try to purchase minors for X, right? Hold on. Look right here. I'm not even joking. They received so much backlash, bro. Right here. They eventually passed it, but they were literally fighting this bill. And I'm in my mind like, why? This is an immediate yes. Like, why would you? Look, California Democrats block another attempt to ramp up penalties for sex solicitors of 16 and 17-year-olds. Why would you block that? Oh, we're afraid. This was their reason. We were afraid that it would hurt teenagers who date each other who are 16 and 17 years old. What teenagers who are dating are buying each other for sex, bro? Come on, that doesn't even make sense. I'm telling you, this is a state that protects predators. And you might not like Donald Trump, like my brother right here, Fryer, but he's probably one of the few people standing in between you and a complete takeover by these animals, man. I don't trust these politicians. When I see stuff like that, it erodes my trust in American politics. Why would a bunch of Democrats in California, right? Why would they block a bill that increases the penalty for someone who attempts to purchase a 16-year-old or a 17-year-old for sex? Why would you do that? There's no reason to do that. Oh yeah, of course, Jason. Of course they're fighting fair elections. But guys, I got to get out of here, man. I got a side quest to go on right now. Hey, thank y'all for watching this. All my new viewers, thank you for being here with me. I promise to be consistent and give you the best quality commentary I can. We'll be back. We'll be back most likely tomorrow, but I'm definitely going to make some more videos tonight. So you guys can like kind of have a steady dose this weekend. Thank y'all so much for being here. And shout out to all my people, my day ones, those of you that remain, my defiant ones. Till the next time. That didn't do that the whole time. And it's supposed to do that every 30 minutes. It didn't do that the whole time. Look at God. Till the next time, take care of yourselves. But most importantly, please take care of each other. Peace.